Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the iBUG Monday Night Buzz. What is today? Today is May 13th, 2024, and this is Buzz Call episode number 633. My name is Brad Snyder, and along with my co-host, the ladybug herself, Sandhya, we are your co-facilitators for tonight's call. The iBUG Buzz is an open forum where we talk about all things iOS. Well, not all things, but most things iOS. We'll talk about your hardware, like your iPads, talk about a Apple Watch, maybe even an Apple TV. We talk about accessories, apps, pretty much everything that involves the iOS world. We do not talk about things that aren't iOS, and we definitely do not do Windows. So, pretty much everything else in iOS is fair game. Um, so, with that out of the way, let's see what's going on in the iBug world this week. I know we probably have a number of a number of things going on. So, Sandhya, can you enlighten us all?
Yes, Brad, you are correct. We have something for everyone every day of the week. All right, so you can't say you're bored. All right, all times are central. Everything is on this same Zoom conference line. So we hope you put that into your phone or whatever device you use and just join in to your heart's content. All right, the midpoint of our call, we'll have the big reveal. We'll have a chance to guess what our iBug Night at the Virtual Movies will be, and I'll have some clues and some prizes. So we hope that everybody participates in that. That'll be at the top of the hour. Then, right after that, we'll have our iBug Bites segment where we give you some helpful tips and tricks and hints and all kinds of stuff like that. And then after the call, we'll have the after buzz where facilitators go on mute and everybody else gets to talk and have a good time. And we hope that everybody will take advantage of that time to get to know each other. Then Tuesday is the mini buzz, basically a continuation of what we're doing right now from 5 to 6. Think of anything in the middle of the night, write it down, and come back tomorrow. Wednesday, Android Insight from 7 to 8:30, all things relating to your Android devices and the A-Lady whom we bar from all other calls. We can talk about her and all the other devices that run the Google Android platform. Thursday, iBug Trekkie Talk from 8 to 9:30. 8 to 9:30, we're watching Deep Space Nine Season 1, episodes 9 and 10. 9 and 10, so watch them ahead of time and then come prepared to discuss them. Then, Fridays, iBug Not at the Virtual Movies at 8 p.m., social time at 7:15. We will have discussion and we will have Name That Tune and some jokes. And then after the movie, we'll have a discussion and trivia. So come for that on Friday. And we'll be off for the weekend. Thank goodness. We'll need some time to rest. This past weekend, we had the iBug Cafe where we talked about editing text. And that was a great program put on by Shri and Brad, and that will be posted very, very soon. I know people are eager to review it, either those who missed it completely or want to go back and try out all the stuff that they taught us. Then, the Tech Shopping Spree. We are a nonprofit, and so this is our annual fundraising opportunity that we provide or have, and so it's $10 for a one ticket or $50 donation for 6 tickets. You have a chance to win $500, and the drawing will be on May 25th, 2024. You need not be present to win. That will be at our 13th anniversary. Finally, social media. Our website is ibugtoday.org, ibugtoday.org. You can get all the information of everything that I just said and lots more. And you can listen to our recordings there. You can listen on YouTube. You can listen on various podcasting apps. And you can check us out on Facebook, on X, and Instagram. So there's no shortage of ways that you can participate and follow what we're doing. With that, Brad, hand it back to you.
Right. What's going on in the iBug world? Certainly no rest for the weary, that's for sure. All right. As we like to do when we begin one of these, let's go around the room and see who's here. We'd like for you to tell us your name, where you're joining us from, and most importantly, if you're new to the iBug or if you're just new to the Monday Night Buzz Call. We want to know that. We'd like to recognize you. So let's get things started. I will. My name is Brad, and I'm in Dallas, Texas. Welcome.
Fran in Austin, Texas.
Welcome.
Desi in Franklin, Tennessee.
Hey, Desi.
Hey, Brad.
Patrick in Connecticut.
Herbie in Houston.
Patrick, Herbie, welcome, guys.
Ed in Georgetown.
Welcome, Ed. And I'm sorry I didn't hear the other, but welcome.
This is Dee in Southern Illinois.
Welcome, Dee.
With my
Ned in
Southern
Kyle,
accent.
Texas.
Ned and
Gloria from Houston.
welcome, Gloria.
Paul in Columbus, Ohio.
Hey, Paul.
Tony from Central Illinois.
Hello, Tony.
Linda,
John
Humble,
in
Texas.
Austin.
I heard Linda and I'm sorry, the other.
John in Austin.
Welcome.
Jake from Michigan.
Hey, Jake, welcome.
Thank you.
Helene from Woodstock, New York.
Hello, welcome, Helene.
Thank you.
Roy from
New York.
Texas.
Hey, Roy, welcome.
Howdy.
The other end of the turnpike. Who else we got?
Brian from Ontario.
Hey, welcome, Brian.
Dan from Southern California.
Dan.
Jody
Who
from New
else?
Hampshire.
Hey, Jody.
Hi, Brad.
Gary in Austin.
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, Brad.
Anybody else?
Marie Farino.
Hi, Marie.
Greg in Texas. From Virginia.
Greg and Shree, welcome. Shree's here early. Oh my God. Who else we got?
Sandhya in Houston.
Oh, and Sandhya.
Suva from Houston.
Hey, welcome.
Vincent in New Jersey.
Oh, Vincent.
Chico Denofa.
Hey, Chico.
Oops. Sarah in Vermont.
Welcome.
Silver Spring, Maryland.
Last. Say it again.
Silver Spring, Maryland.
All right, welcome. Welcome. All right. Is that everybody? Don't want to leave anybody out. And I didn't hear anybody declare themselves new to iBUG or the Buzz Call. So if you were shy and didn't speak up, you can always let us know later on. As Sandhya said, we don't raise hands. We ask that you state your name, wait to be called on by either Sandhya or myself. Kind of keep questions concise and give us a chance to, let people answer your question and then move on and give someone else a chance. So we like to, like I said, we didn't have anyone identify as new, but I know we have some new users out there. We like to let our new iOS users or anyone who feels they're new to iBUG get us started and at least get the ball rolling for tonight. So with all our intros out of the way, let's get moving. Who would like to ask our first question of the evening?
This is Patrick.
I heard Patrick. And go ahead, Patrick.
Okay, thanks. All right. Well, I'm using my phone for this call for the first time, and I really miss wearing a headset. So I wonder if anyone can recommend a headset for my iPhone.
Anybody recommend?
I don't think
a
Apple makes one.
They make the ear pods, the wired ones, and then of course there's AirPods. But I bet we can get lots of recommendations for all kinds of headphones that work with the iPhone. Anybody care to offer?
Yeah, this is Fran in Austin.
Go ahead, Fran.
I have Apple earbuds. I have the EarPods, and I also have the wired earbuds. And so that's what I use. I know he's looking for a headset. I haven't seen anything like that. But
which ones are you using right now?
Right now I'm using some wired headphones and my phone microphone. This one isn't made for the phone is just there.
Good. You sound real good, whatever it is.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else got a recommendation for Patrick?
This is Jody.
Go ahead, Jody.
Do you want headphones or do you want I like the sport earbuds, so they're earbuds and they have ear hooks so that you don't lose them. So one brand that's really nice is Tozo, Tozo, and you can get open ear earbuds from them too, so they don't actually go into your ear. They just sit outside your ear. They're not bone conducting. They're just little speakers that sit outside your ear. That's a nice brand. And then, I've even gotten them for as little as $15 and they work great. So, just search Amazon and check the reviews too.
This is Brad. Those are Bluetooth, right?
Yes.
Very good. All right. That gives you some
Chica Tanaka here.
yeah.
Patrick, which would you, I have, regular headphones, but, there's an adapter that you can plug into your phone, and you plug the end of the headphone, the earpiece, the wire earpiece, you plug it into the adapter. You plug the adapter into your phone, you plug the other end of the earpiece, the round thing, inside the adapter, and then you plug the adapter into the phone, and you can use the phone like a regular headset. So you can try that. Or if you can't.
That's interesting. What's that adapter?
Is there a brand name to that, Tigo?
I'm not sure. I think Cherie knows what it is.
Okay. Well, we'll ask him later on then.
All
right.
Well, thank you.
All
right. Now, did you have a question, Tigo?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Go ahead.
I do. The question is, the brand new iOS 17.5 just came today.
Well, let's see if anybody knows this. And I've been busy all day and haven't had a chance to even be aware of this. I knew the 17.5 was pending because they released a release candidate last week. Does anyone know what of interest, accessibility wise or just in general, is in this 17.5 iOS update?
This is Brian.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I installed it around 1 o'clock today, and being totally blind, like I didn't care about the wallpaper, lock screen stuff, but I really haven't found anything, so I'm going to say it's all bugs. Plus the issue that I had about a month ago with the app library, I went and tested it today. It works fine.
Good. Good.
This is Shri.
And go ahead, Shri.
I think this is the one update I did not update this time. And the reason that I did not update is I've heard some reviews that the Wi-Fi performance was worse on the 5 versus the .1 previously. So I'm going to wait.
17.4.1.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to wait.
Okay. Anybody else got any thoughts? This is Brad. I've been noticing a lot of weird things when I dictate. It seems to repeat things, particularly if I search for something on Safari, if I dictate something into the address bar, or if I'm searching for something in the music app. That seemed new. That seemed to have popped up in the last 17.4.1 update. I don't recall having this issue before, so I'm going to read up on it. I usually like to see what Apple Insider, 9 to 5 Mac, and some other Apple-related sources have to say before I
This is
plunge in.
John in Austin.
Yes, John.
I have a follow-on to what you just said, Brad, and I was going to ask it as a question, but you did first. And that is, I'm having a bunch of those repeats, and right now I'm using Bluetooth earbuds, but it's happening to me both when I use the speaker with the iPhone or the earbuds. And the other thing I'm finding, I don't know, I'll ask you if you're having this, words that I'm dictating are being skipped. And I can slow my dictation down and try to be as distinct as I can. And still, it amazingly will skip words. I'm not talking about where it does a bad translation from speech to text, but just actually skipping words.
Okay. This is Brad. Well, I've been noticing a lot of strange things. I always try to speak slowly and clearly, and a lot of times I catch myself talking too fast. So I start over, do it slow and clear, and hopefully that helps. But I have been noticing a lot of strange things. Like I said, I dictate something, it repeats it twice, and I don't know where that's coming from. So hopefully they fix that.
This is
Anybody
John.
else? Go ahead.
This is John.
Yeah. Go ahead, John, and then let's go to Brian.
The other thing that I've found is when I try to dictate with Siri, either a text message or an email, I'll get to the end and then the time indicator will go around and around, and then it'll tell me there's a problem and I have to start over. So I don't know whether you have that as well.
It's always frustrating. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I was just going to say I had the same issues as you, and then you made me think now I'm going to try it in 0.5 to see if I still have it, because sometimes it may take a word from mine and make its own version, or like you said, put two words, the same words, one behind the other. And Siri is wonky.
Siri's always wonky.
Oh, he's really bad since 4.1. It's even worse.
All right. Anybody else? Last call, and then we'll move on.
Dawn
All right. Go ahead.
I have a question about the update. So can you
tell me
opt out?
I'm sorry. Tell me your name.
Dawn from Houston.
Dawn, yes, please. Go ahead. Thank you.
Can you opt out? I heard Sri saying that he didn't download the 17.5. So can you not download the 17.5, but then if you want 6,
yes,
I mean
make sure your
17.6,
automatic. Yes, this is Brad. Just make sure your automatic updates are turned off, and then you can just ignore it and not do it, and do it later, or just wait till the next one comes out and skip this one and go to that one. It's up to you, but you need to have make sure automatic updates are turned off by going into your settings, general software update, and it's right up there at the top. It'll say, if you want automatic updates or not, you can turn them off. If you have it turned on, it may download it and then update in the middle of the night while you're sleeping, and you wake up the next morning and it's done and you can't undo it. So turn those off. Okay. Anybody else, or we'll move on?
This is Dee.
Dee, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to back up for a second to Patrick's question and actually to Chico's response. I wanted to let Patrick and everybody know that device that Chico was talking about, where you plug it into your phone and then plug the headset and other devices in, is called a dongle.
Okay, very good. Yeah, there's all kinds of dongles. Very good, Dee. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Who's got a totally new question for us?
Brad, this is Desi. I was just going to say that, I understand why, why people are hesitant to get updates, but one of the reasons that they put these updates out is because they put security patches in them. And I just always think it's a really good idea to do it right away, especially if it's not a major update, like, to a whole new level of iOS or something.
Mm-hmm. That is true. That is true. It's always a good idea to keep your phone up to date because of security updates, but it's also a good idea as someone, as we all are, depend on assistive technology, voiceover, things of that nature. It's sometimes a good idea to wait a day or two, see what AppleVis has to say, if they point out any showstopper or any other kind of issues that come up. And then if you feel comfortable with proceeding, then go ahead and proceed. I haven't gone through and read any of the news articles. Like I said, I've been kind of busy today, but I usually like to see what Apple Insider or 9 to 5, of course, they're not talking about accessibility stuff. AppleVis will be talking about accessibility. So read that stuff, get informed, and then, if you feel confident that it's not going to, leave you in the ditch, then you can go ahead and do the update. But yes, security updates are one of the main reasons it's good to update. Thank you, Desi. Anybody else got a new question for us?
This is Ned.
Yes, sir, Ned.
Yes, a couple of days ago, a button called Expand Speaking Bar showed up on my screen, and it's in my text message, my emails, my Safari, my apps, and it's always there on the phone. And when I did a single finger double tap, it opened up, and the choices were to speak to touch, or the speaking rate, or minimize speaking bar. So I don't know what that is, and I want to close it or hide it or just make it go away.
Who's got any idea what's going on with Ned and the speaking bar?
This is Thomas in Colorado.
Go ahead, Thomas.
I have the solution. So, Ned, you're going to go into your settings. You're going to go under accessibility, and you're going to swipe over to where it says spoken content. Mm-hmm. When you click on spoken content, I think it's the third option over is the speaking bar that you're talking about, and it's either turned on or it's turned off. If it's turned on, it will show up on your screen. So you'll want to turn that off, and then that will make that bar disappear.
This is Ned.
Go ahead.
Could you repeat those steps one more time?
Certainly. So you go to settings, go to accessibility, swipe over to spoken content. And once you get to spoken content, double tap that. And I think it's the third option over to the right is turn speaking bar on or off. And you can turn it off, and then it will disappear and it won't be on the screen unless you turn it back on again.
Thank you.
This is Brad. Just to clarify, Thomas, you say over to the right, you mean swipe from left to right,
Swipe
which
from
means
left to right,
down
correct.
the list. Correct.
Correct.
Okay, just making sure We all
Yep.
Hello, this
understand.
is
Very
Nikki.
good.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, hang
Yeah.
on 1 second.
Okay.
Did we good there? You got that, Thomas? We're good? Okay, go ahead,
Yep.
Nikki.
Well, I just wanted to say, and besides, by the way, I tried to introduce myself, but you guys couldn't hear me because of my microphone. I'm new to Buzz, but not to iBUG. But in any case, yeah, I just wanted to clarify that this spoken content option, it's below voiceover and it's still in the vision options. And the purpose of it is like if you don't want to use voiceover all the time, if you turn this on, you can, that speaking bar, if you enable it, you can just have it read you what you want. Obviously, if you're totally blind, you don't want that because you want voiceover, but it can be confusing. And I turned it on one time thinking it would be helpful. And then I realized it just basically does just part of what voiceover already does. So I just wanted to clarify what that purpose of it actually does.
Very good. This is Brad. I know a lot of people that I have run across that have had other issues such as dyslexia or other issues reading. They can see okay, or they're low vision, but they still don't feel the need to use voiceover. Will use spoken content as opposed to full voiceover. But anyway, very good, Nikki. Thank you very much. Okay, who's got a new question for us?
Fran in Austin.
Go ahead, Fran.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's any way, Gary and I have the same account, and when I call someone, it comes up as his name, and I want my phone to come up as my name. Is there any way to change? How do I change that?
Let's clarify. You said same account. What do you mean by same account?
Well, I mean, we're, we have the same account with Verizon, for our phones and everything. They're,
You have separate phone numbers, right?
We have separate phone numbers. Yeah.
You need to call Verizon. Verizon is controls. It's the caller ID that's going to show up, unless someone, of course, has your phone number saved in their contacts. Then your name will show up.
Yeah.
But if they don't, it's the caller ID. And if you call Verizon, the primary account holder can call Verizon and get that changed.
Okay, thank you.
That's what I had to do once upon a time, so that my wife's name would show up as her name and not mine.
Right. Yes, we have our own names. Thank you very much. I'd like to use them.
Good.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
That's a carrier issue.
Okay. Thank
All right.
you.
Good question. Very good. Who's got something new for us?
This is Jody.
Go ahead, Jody.
Yes, I've been using Voice Dream Reader, listening to book, and if I go to another app and do other things, and then come back to the Voice Dream Reader and hit the play button, it doesn't play. I have to remove the app from the app switcher, open it again, and then it will play. And I wonder if anybody else has had that problem.
Any Voice Dream Reader users out there experiencing anything like that?
This is Nikki again.
Go ahead, Nikki.
I have that issue occasionally, not all the time, but I do have that sometimes. And yeah, the only solution is to close it out through the app switcher and go back into it. Another bug recently that's happened, in case and this could be related, if you speed up your books and you switch apps and come back, they might go back to the normal speed, and that's a bug that they need to fix. So yeah, that's the deal with Voice Dream Reader.
All right. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Okay.
This is Jody.
Go ahead, Jody.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the recent events with subscriptions and all that.
This is Herbie.
Go ahead, Herbie.
I've had this issue with Voice Dream for a while now, so no.
Okay.
This is Brad. I'm also thinking if there's a bug or something in the what do we call it? The legacy version of a voice stream reader. I doubt they're supporting it anymore. And if there's a bug, they're not fixing it. They're focusing
That's
on
what I
the
wondered.
new app with the subscription. So we won the battle and get to maintain functionality of the old one, but they're not going to update it. And no, hopefully we can, like you said, like Nikki said, close the app and reopen it, and it'll even if it goes
Yeah,
back to its original speaking rate, at least it will continue working.
this is Jody.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is the problem. And the Bookshare Reader app is actually improving, quite a bit. But the other thing that people have been complaining about on other lists is that they're not able to download books from Bookshare on the Voice Dream Reader app. I'm not having that problem, but some people are.
This is Jerry from Vermont.
Go ahead, Jerry.
I wanted to comment on expand on what Jody was saying. I'm finding that in a lot of apps now, that if even the paid apps, if they get wonky, you just have to close it out with app switchers, start it again. Sometimes that works. My Siri with 4.0, whatever this was, the last one before 17.5 is wonky. It's terrible. We tried to get maps to work for us. We were going somewhere on Thursday, and it took us to every place in the world except where we wanted to go. It was sending us, and this was a simple request, that it's done before. So I'm not sure what's going on with Siri, but it is a real concern. I'm going to switch to Google Maps, and hopefully that'll work better if I need to use a GPS with my wife. So I've got, and there, as I say, there are several apps that I've had to just open it or delete it or close an app switcher, and that's been a huge problem, from where I sit. And I've got the one before the 17.05. I think it was 4.1 or 17.4.1 or something. Yeah. So
very good.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, good advice there. Close out your app switcher every now and then and relaunch them. Okay, who's got a next question for us?
No, this is Jody with a comment for Jerry.
Okay, Jody.
Yeah, by the way, if you're using Google Maps, if you go to navigate settings and navigation and you go to the bottom, there's a way to enhance your voiceover experience.
That's in Google Maps, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, he was talking about the Apple Maps and the problem he was having there.
Oh, I thought he said Google Maps.
No, he said he's thinking of switching to Google Maps, but that is a good.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I read about the thing you're talking about, and that is a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Jody. Okay, new question. How about somebody that hadn't had a chance to ask a question or respond to a question? Let's get some new blood. Somebody else who's new.
This is Terry.
Go ahead, Terry. How are you?
I'm okay. And maybe you've answered this already, but I'm seeing that iOS 17.5 is finally available. Has anybody commented on whether or not we should download it, or is it a problem? I thought I heard somebody saying that.
As we discussed, Sheree said there's some kind of a Wi-Fi issue, so he's waiting. And we discussed it's always a good idea to do updates because of security patches, but read articles and see what AppleViz has to say and proceed whatever you decide is the best thing to do for you. Right. As always. Okay.
Okay. This makes me hope that if there's some serious thing that Apple will, resolve it sooner than later.
You know how
so
that
that we don't.
Like every time they resolve something and there's something else that pops up.
Yeah, but
like
okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
You've been helpful.
I'm sorry. I wish I had. Anyway, okay.
This is Joe from
Go
Oklahoma.
ahead, Joe. Yeah.
Haven't been on for quite a while. And I noticed the way that you get on is so much easier these days. You just hit the Zoom button and that's it. You don't have to enter the password or anything.
Uh-huh.
Is there still the mentoring program?
Yes, we have it. You can go to our website, which is ibugtoday.org or .com, either one. And you can navigate the website. You'll find a link to the mentoring program, and you can fill out a form and put your name in the hat.
This is
Sandhya. You will be contacted.
I filled out the form and recently sent it in, and I hope that's the same address that was on the form.
This is Sandhya.
Yes, Sandhya.
Yes, we received it. Thank you, Joe. We'll be getting back to you shortly.
Thank you very much, Sandhya.
You're
all right.
In the queue, as they say. Very good. Thank you, Sandhya. All right. Who else we got? We still got lots of time till the top of the hour. Oh, yeah. 21 minutes. So, who hadn't had a chance to ask a question?
David.
David. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was looking at the notes on the new 17.5, and there's apparently a new word game in the news section called quartiles. So I don't know if it's accessible or not, but that's one of the new things they mentioned on the notes. And there's some other. I think you can now read news offline. Also, a few other news changes to the new Apple News, but not too exciting. Quartiles, I think. QUART tiles.
Okay.
Quartile.
Has anyone tried the crosswords
It's just new, I
that are
guess.
in there?
Yeah, the crosswords have been enhanced too.
Are they accessible?
No, I haven't tried them.
Yeah, they've been there. There's a big regular one, and then there's a little, I can't remember what they call it, a short crossword puzzle. I wondered if they're accessible. I really had just assumed they weren't. Quartile. All right, we'll look for that. Thank you, David. Who else hadn't had a chance? Anybody?
This is Nikki. This isn't so much a beginner question. I know you wanted to take beginner questions, but it's just a curiosity if anybody's experienced this, and I didn't used to, but it seems like Bluetooth is, just not behaving as well as it used to for me on my phone. Sometimes, especially if I connect it after I'm on a call, and especially with my shocks, although it can happen with anything, it'll connect and then disconnect again sometimes. And then the next time I'll do it, I'll turn it off and back on. It'll connect fine. Or sometimes if I join a Zoom meeting or something, it'll sit there and I'll lose speech for like 30 seconds or a little bit more. And then eventually it'll come back and I'll get everything. But it's really strange. It didn't used to happen. And I wonder if it was a bug that anybody else had experienced, because it's disconcerting, especially when you join a meeting and you lose speech and you don't even know if you're in or you're unmuted and you're saying something. And yeah.
Anybody having any Bluetooth issues? Or is Nikki all alone?
This is Jody.
Go ahead, Jody.
How old are your earbuds?
These are really new. I just got them in December. They're the open runs, the Shocks open runs, and I have a pair of AirPods Pros, the older model, but not that old.
Okay, I was gonna say if they were really old, the firmware might not be up to date with 17.4.1. But if they're new and if they're running Bluetooth 5.0 or 5.2. Then they should work. I know I had a very old pair that finally died because the firmware on the earbuds just was so outdated compared to the iOS.
It's just inconsistent. Yeah.
Okay, Terry, go ahead.
I just spoke with somebody today who had the same kind of, who is having the same kind of issues.
Okay. You're not alone, Nikki.
Okay.
This is Dave.
Good to know.
Okay, go ahead, David.
Oh, yes, I've been having that problem for quite a while now. I even took my AirPods in to get them replaced before the 1-year warranty ran out. So I've had them about 2.5 years, maybe something like that, almost 3 years. So it's not the newest generation, but yeah, I have that problem occasionally.
Okay. Happens with AirPods. It can happen with anything.
This is Jerry from Vermont.
All right, Jerry.
I'm having a Bluetooth issue. It's with my Dexcom app and my Dexcom sensor. It's pairing okay, but it leaves it's hard to describe. It leaves the other pairing portals, if you will, on my Bluetooth. It does not remove them. So it's almost impossible for me to find the Dexcom pairing thing that I just paired. My sensors are working great, but I've got about 20 of these things that are piling up in the Dexcom section, and they're all weird letter number combinations, and none of them have to do with the number on the side of the applicator when you're pairing the sensor. So I don't know how to. I don't know whether we got any other Dexcom users here. I just have the sensor. I don't have the pump, but I'd be curious if anybody had a solution besides just deleting them all.
Any Dexcom users?
Guess not.
Yes, not.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
okay.
You might check with companies, see what they've got to say.
Yeah, they're practically, you can't really even get to them. It's kind of weird.
I know.
All right. Anyway, thank you.
All right.
Anybody? And this is Nikki, really quick.
Go ahead,
I don't
Nikki.
know if this will help, but and I don't think you have to be a member to join it, but ACB Diabetics in Action has a list that, an group that you can join, an email group. And I know that there are people on there that probably use Dexcom that you might be able to ask the question there.
I'm trying to remember what their email address is.
It's
ACB Diabetics
Thanks.
org@gmail.com, I think.
Yeah, if you go onto acb.org and go to their affiliates page, you can.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah, that's a good recommendation, Nikki. Thank you. Okay, who's got a next question? Still looking for people that haven't had a chance to say anything or been shy, or just we want to hear from you. So don't be shy, that's for sure. Just jump right in there. State your name and I'll call on you.
This is Dan.
Go ahead, Dan.
Okay, Sandhya said that iBUG is on Instagram, and I'm just kind of curious. I've just recently started playing with Instagram. I'm not sure if I really like it or it's very visual. So one question that I have is, how do I go about finding iBUG on Instagram? Is there a search tab, or how do I do that?
Who can tell us how to find things on Instagram?
This is Sandhya.
Go ahead, Sandhya.
All right, so we are on there. We're not terribly active, but I have tested it out recently, and I was surprised because I periodically check on it because it seems like everybody is on Instagram, and all the young people are on Instagram. So I was trying, and I was able to navigate fairly well. And so we are. As far as the search thing, I'd have to just kind of uh, dabble along in the tabs and try to figure out where to search. But we are at iBUG today, so if I'll try to look it up and let you know.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. iBUG on Instagram. Very good. Okay. Who's got our next question? Let's keep moving along. Top of the hour will be here before you know it, and then you'll have to wait.
Brad, this is John.
Yes, John.
You mentioned early, and I've heard it in other shows, the mention of Apple Viz, but I've never looked it up. Is it a website or what is it? And what is the layout?
Okay.
And so on?
All right, this is Brad. Apple Viz is a website that focuses on, well, they always were exclusively Apple. I believe they've now opened it up to some other things. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But Apple Viz, is it .com, I believe? appleviz.com. It is a website. They have podcasts. You can also find their podcasts in your podcast player, catcher, whatever we want to call those podcast app of choice. Just search for Apple Viz. They have a whole series of podcasts in their podcast stream. A lot of good stuff in there, a lot of training stuff on their website has got articles and an area for like new users and every product, iPhones, iPads, Apple Watch, Apple TV, that desktop computer thing we don't talk about in here. All kinds of Apple products. It's a good resource especially when you're just getting started, or if you want to see what they have to say about a iOS update that came, like the one that came out today. And they focus on the accessibility as opposed to like a lot of the mainstream media is going to focus on mainstream aspects of it. They focus on accessibility, in particular voiceover accessibility. So it's a really good resource for stuff like that. Highly recommend checking it out.
Thank you.
Who else has a question for us?
Gary.
Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, I have an issue with my phone where after it's been on for a few days, I stop seeing notifications unless I purposefully go into the notification center and look for them. And it just occurs every, I don't know, and it doesn't always happen, but maybe after my phone's been on maybe for 5 or 6 days, and I do turn it off at least once a week. I just don't get them. And the only way to fix it is to reboot the phone. I just was wondering if there was any thoughts as to why that might be.
Yeah. Anybody got any thoughts on notifications and they stop after a certain amount of time, a few days, like Gary's experiencing? Anybody experiencing anything like that? I know I'm not. Mine does other weird stuff, but
yeah, I think it's my phone. This is a weird phone, and it has its own idiosyncrasies. So.
Yeah, mine tends to, like it did this morning. It's as if it rebooted itself in the middle of the night. Just things weren't exactly the way I left it, and it's making me. Of course, I now understand every now and then it wants you to type in your passcode, but it seemed like it had rebooted in the middle of the night, and I know it shouldn't do that. I was on a charger overnight, and
yeah, I've had that happen where I have to do the passcode, in the middle of the night, too. In the morning, I have to enter the passcode, and sometimes you can, trick it and make it, not do that, but there are times you can't. So.
Nobody seems to be experiencing notification issues, so I don't
I
know.
thought it was something peculiar to this phone. So
Right.
okay.
Could be. Well, maybe this 17.5 update will fix it for you.
Yeah.
And then it'll introduce a new problem.
Yeah, I don't know. This phone's had all these weirdities for years, or well, not probably what, a year and a half, however long I had it. But anyway.
This is Karen.
Okay. Go ahead.
Speaking of notifications, I got a notification this morning that I missed a phone call. And I just went to my recents just to see what that number was or who it was. It was not in recents at all. And I just checked now, it's still not in there. And sometimes it's like a little delay. But there is a voicemail. I got the voicemail this morning, but it wasn't in recents.
Mm-hmm. Yep, they'll do
I
that.
was just wondering if that's common.
Anybody else having notifications for phone calls that don't show up in your recents? Guess not. I know I get it from time to time. Okay. I'll get a voicemail and the phone call doesn't show up in my recents, so who knows where it came from.
Okay. This is Jody.
Go ahead, Jody.
Yeah, sometimes if you take the phone out of the app switcher and then open it again, it shows up.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
This is Helene.
Go ahead, Helene.
I was wondering, sometimes my phone will just, I'll be set it down and I'll hear it say, every minute it'll be giving the time, or it'll just say not charging, or, just making statements about itself. But I'm not touching it.
It's unlocked, isn't it?
Yes.
That's why. Anybody?
So I had to hit the button.
Yeah, it's good to lock it. I mean, where's your clock app? In the upper left corner or someplace else on the screen?
Yeah, on the top.
On the top. Is it on the top left?
In the middle.
Clock app.
In the middle.
Okay, that clock app is going to speak every time the minute changes. So even if you have your phone set to lock after, say, 2 minutes, every minute it's going to say the time, and that's going to, because VoiceOver said something, that's going to reset that 2 minutes until it locks itself, which means it'll never lock itself.
This is Kathy.
Go ahead, Kathy.
But I thought the reason that it does it is because you left focus on that little place.
Correct.
So
Correct.
Whenever it changes, it's going to talk. So all you do is go over to your phone and touch somewhere else on it, preferably somewhere that's not going to change. Touch the bottom left corner, the first item, and then the phone, and then it'll stop telling you the time.
Or better yet, just lock it when you set it down. Hit that side button and it'll lock.
Right. Thank you. And may I ask another question?
Go ahead.
I have all of a sudden, from listening to messages, suddenly a message from last August will just come on, and it's a voice recording, and it will just suddenly start speaking, like, saying, "Hello, it's Rose. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you in so long." And I don't know, maybe because it's a voice recording, can someone tell me how to make it go away?
And are you in this message when it does that? Or
No.
It's haunted.
Yes,
I received. This is Jerry from Vermont.
Go ahead. You go ahead, Jerry.
I receive messages from a gentleman in Canada always, and it's not you, Brian. I know you're on here, and I can't delete them unless I go to the conversation and delete the whole conversation. Even if I reply to it, it comes up as an unread message. So I think it's kind of like the issue you're talking about. But I finally, I just go to the conversation and I listen to all the ones that I need to listen to, and then I just delete it. And when he comes back with another message, it's the same thing. I can't delete them. So I don't know whether that's related or what, but it's a pain.
Pete. Go ahead, Pete, and then we're going to wrap up this part of the show.
I'm just wondering if in your settings, you guys, if you have, there's a retention element in your settings down under messages, under voice messages. There's a retention selection where you can choose how long to keep them. I think either 30 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, or always, or forever, or something. I'm wondering if you got them set for forever, and therefore you can't delete them. I would go check just to be sure.
Yeah.
Also, are you listening to them when the notification shows up on the home screen, or are you actually opening the Messages app and going to the conversation? That's a good recommendation. Anyway,
I'm opening
folks,
the message.
Okay. Well, we are at the top of the hour, so if you haven't had a chance to ask a question, hang on. We will be back after a few minutes to pick up where we left off. But right now, it's time to hand it over to Sandhya, who is going to take care of the midpoint and take us into what we're all really here for, is those crazy movie clues. So, Sandhya, take it away.
All right, thank you, Brad. Yes, so first, before we get to that, we'd like to say hello to anybody who didn't get a chance to say hello the first time around. So please say your name, where you're from, and if you're here for the first time.
Terry from Arlington Heights.
All right, welcome.
Pete from Jacksonville.
Hello, sir.
Alice from Alabama.
Hello, Miss Alice.
Hello.
Calandra from Fort Worth.
Welcome,
Texas.
Calandra. Welcome.
David.
Kathy from Tulsa.
David from Houston.
David, Kathy, welcome.
Nikki from Hamburg, Pennsylvania.
Welcome, Nikki. Who else we got? We'll do it. Anybody else? Who you are, where you're from?
Oh, Nikki, San Francisco. Hi.
All right. Welcome, Nikki. Welcome.
Thank you.
And real quick, we'll interrogate Miss Nikki from Pennsylvania since we haven't picked on her enough today. Nikki, can you quickly just tell us how you heard about iBUG and how you got here today?
Well, I first of all, I've known about iBUG for a while. I went to other things in the past, and then recently Sandhya has gotten me back connected again. So
hopefully
if you wanted kudos again, Sandhya, there you go.
Hopefully voluntarily, yeah.
Yeah, she has. It's voluntary.
Okay, well, thank you, Nikki. Glad to have you. It's your first time on the call here, so glad to have you. All right, anybody else want to say hi? Okay, good. Okay, all right, so now we're going to find out what those clues are. And our movie is on Friday at 8 p.m. Central. The social time begins at 7:15. We don't name that tunes and jokes. Socialization. Say that 5 times fast. What else? General chaos persists or pervades that part of the call. There's no tech on movie night, so we like to keep it that way. And now, and then after the movie, we'll have discussion and trivia. So, with those fabulous clues, let's see what we have or who we have. Is it the iBUG guy out there, or is he out there watching the Aurora Borealis? Are you out there, iBUG guy?
That's a no.
Well, yes. Sorry, Phil. I am here, even though you don't care anymore. All right. Oh my goodness. I don't know if we can get going. I'm used to having 50, and I only see 48 participants on the call. We have to wait a few minutes here to see if others show up. Oh, there went to 49. Well, okay, that's close enough, I guess. So, anyway, nothing new to report. Well, I do have something to report. Anybody has any of you guys experienced the aurora? I know some of the people from up north had to have. I know us down in the south, and we've been cloudy, and northeast has been cloudy, but
This is Ned.
Ned.
Yes, when I lived in Michigan, I would see it as a little kid in the sky at night.
Yeah, I was looking for seeing if anybody.
A lot of people up here have seen it.
Yeah, I was thinking you guys there.
Where's up here?
Any
Woodstock and Saugerties, and but it's been here several days.
Where's our Canadians? Well, I should have came and seen you, Helene.
Where were you?
This is Nikki.
Nikki, did you see it?
No, I didn't, but they did take photographs of the Golden Gate Bridge on Friday night, and it was very, very red. Even though it was foggy, the photograph was beautiful, but I live on the other side of town, and I wouldn't have gone over there anyway. But the rest of San Francisco was pretty foggy. But that's the only place I know of nearby.
All right, well.
But it was beautiful, the photograph was.
Some of the people got to experience. I was expecting some of the Midwest and people up around, Michigan, Minnesota.
It's been too cloudy in New Hampshire. My daughter's been very disappointed. She wanted to see it.
Sorry about that.
Let's go on.
Oh, yeah. We're here for something else. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, hello.
Let's get ready for.
He's gone.
All right. As always, everyone gets to play. This is an all play. Everybody, for the only time in this 2 hours that you get to unmute, everybody gets to unmute simultaneously. So we want to see some new people out there playing. All right, rules. If you've won in the last 3 weeks, you're not eligible tonight, unfortunately. We will have 5 clues if we get that far, and you get 1 guess per clue. Just say your name and wait to be acknowledged. Don't just be yelling out any profanities. We want you to wait to be acknowledged to do that. So here we go with clue number.
Okay.
Our film this week is initially set in the OK State. We see the film starting out in the OK State. Okay. Sounds pretty quiet out there.
This is Patrick.
Uh-oh, Patrick, come on in.
Is this where we guess the name of the movie or guess the clue?
Guess the name of the movie.
The Grapes of Wrath.
We can guess the clue if you want.
Oklahoma, The Grapes of Wrath.
Oklahoma, The Grapes of Wrath. That would be an excellent guess, Patrick.
Oh, no.
But
I don't like where this is going, Michael.
Yeah. You know, it's only the first clue. So we will have to move right along, and ding, 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 ding. We're
going to give it to Patrick. Way to go. The
Nailed
great
it.
All
Wow.
right.
You're banned for
That's
life.
great. Fantastic.
Good
Clue.
one, Patrick.
Yeah,
What a great movie.
it is a great
Rarely
movie.
get to see it. Yes.
That
So
sounds
much
like
for
a
that
great
game.
movie.
Great book and great movie.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
yeah.
I guessed it.
You got it.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
Look at
That's
that.
what the ding, 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 ding
Getting
means.
Ding, ding, ding means you got it.
Wow.
Yeah, a
Oh
great
my
find from
goodness.
All
Johnny or
right.
something.
Our
Yeah.
movie is from 1940.
Congratulations. At least it's not
And
Oklahoma.
1940
No.
and
Grapes
starring
of
Wrath.
Henry Fonda
Henry
as Tom
Fonda.
Joad.
John Carradine, the Kung Fu father of the Kung Fu dude, David Carradine, and not Faye, Jane, what's Jane's last name? No, I can't remember her. Jane, she won an Oscar though.
Jane Fonda.
No, not
Well,
Jane.
could be Jane Wyman.
Could be
Mansfield.
Yes, I think it
Isn't there
was.
a Jane Mansfield?
No.
No,
Wasn't
not
her.
that one.
Wasn't
By the
her.
way,
Keep going.
She
would
didn't
you
win an
could you
Oscar.
please repeat
All
the
right.
clue?
Oh my
Would you please
All
It
right,
can't
all
be
right.
Jane
You said it
Austen
starts
'cause
out in
she
Oklahoma.
died.
It starts out in Oklahoma.
The OK State.
Jane Darwell. Jane Darwell.
Never heard of her.
Oh yes, Jane.
Oh,
Anyway,
Jane Darwell.
she mama.
and the director John Ford
Ford. Yeah.
also won and drew a Oscar for this movie. So 2 Oscars and number of other nominations for the Academy Awards. So anyway, we're going to be here
Cool.
this Friday to see the
Excellent.
Grapes of Wrath.
How long is that movie?
It's
2
a
hours, 12 minutes.
little over 2 hours, yes.
Hey, Google,
Oh,
set a
that's a
timer for
good
2 minutes.
time.
Oh, you know what, Patrick? Let's find out.
Johnny, what do we have for a winner tonight?
All right, I thought we would never get here. All right, Patrick, congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
Oh, well, thank you. Just for guessing a movie? Wow.
Yeah,
I'm
I
getting
know.
all misty-eyed.
You don't let
Yeah,
it.
well, get
Don't
over
let it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's a line from a movie, Lieutenant
got a-
Colonel
all
Frank
right,
Slade.
You got a
so-
year's supply of grapes.
What is Patrick getting? Patrick is getting, don't get ahead of me. Patrick is getting a truck used. It's a 1926 Hudson Super 6, the same model that was in the book. And yes,
Yes.
now you can drive around Connecticut
Oh.
in your iBUG colored truck.
Oh, I
And
love it.
you should be safe in the truck. I don't know about the other people, but
Other people, that's right. Oh,
all
look
right,
out.
so
Honk,
go
honk.
for it. All right, it's an antique. It's a relic. Okay, good
Yes,
job,
love
Patrick.
it.
Just let us know
And
when you're on the road.
Thank you, Mr.
Of
McCulloch.
course.
Would you like to say goodnight so we can put everybody on mute?
You're itchy.
Okay, are you saying goodnight? Okay, he's saying goodnight. Okay, good. All right, you need to be muted. All right. So now our next, so in case you missed it, the movie is The Grapes of Wrath from 1940. Come for that. And now we are going to go to the iBug Bites segment. And for that, we will hand it over to Brad. After this, we will come back for questions and answers. Okay, go ahead, Brad. You ready to go?
Wow, it's only 13 after. Glad I didn't stray too far.
I tell you, Brad,
I know.
Patrick
What was that,
right
Patrick?
on it.
First clue?
Yep.
First answer, first clue?
Yep.
Yeah, I got
he's
my
awesome.
knuckles wrapped for doing that. We'll see how you survive.
Yeah.
All right.
We like
Very
him,
good. I'm
so
looking forward to
that's why.
Grapes of Wrath. I've not seen that movie before, so that will be something to look forward to. Okay, so iBug Bite segment. So we hear a lot about blue bubbles, green bubbles, all this stuff with messages. And some people say they have difficulties with their iPhone sending messages to Android and other non iOS devices. So we're going to show you a little setting in the Messages app that will guarantee that no matter who you send a message to, they will receive it. Or at least if they don't, it won't be the fault of your iPhone. So let's open up my iPhone here.
2014.
I trust everyone hears
Settings. Messages. Heading.
I'm in the Messages app. Okay. There are two settings in here that we're going to look for, and they're kind of farther on down. I checked this out earlier. I think I have to swipe left to right, I believe 19 times to get to the setting I'm looking for. So here we go.
Allow message. Focus. Syrian's. Notification. iMessage. Send and receive. iMessage uses. iMessage app. Share name and updated name. Shared with you. Allow content. Show contact. Show photos of text message. Allow your iPhone. Send read receive. When this is on. Send as SMS. Switch button. On.
That's what we're looking for. Send as SMS. SMS means short mail service. That's a fancy word for good old-fashioned regular text messages. So your iPhone will try and send messages to other iPhones, iPads, other Apple devices using the iMessage service, which is an Apple thing that will communicate with other Apple devices without using standard text messaging. You know, you always hear those things. They want to send you something that says standard text messaging rates may apply. Well, that's only if you're using SMS, which is short mail service, old-fashioned regular text messaging. So you want to make sure this is toggled on, as we just heard mine.
Send as SMS when iMessage is unavailable. Carrier messaging rates may apply.
There you go. There's that disclaimer. And it
Send
says,
as SMS. Switch button. On.
On. So I can, if it's not on, you do a one finger double tap.
Off.
Now it's off.
On.
That's on. That's what you want. The other setting is right below it.
Send as SMS/MMS. MMS messaging. Switch button. On.
MMS. That stands for Multimedia Messaging Service. That's another way of standard old-fashioned text messaging, except multimedia means it's not really what it sounds. It means it's got a picture or something in it. Once upon a time, big deal was to take a picture and send it to somebody through a text message. So an MMS message can contain a picture. Multimedia implies, I'm going to send somebody a movie. No, that doesn't work with these. These are just, simple, like I said, short messaging service. Well, this is the same thing, short messaging service with a picture, hence multimedia. And again, this one is also a toggle.
Off.
Off.
On.
On. One finger double tap will toggle it on and off. And you want to make sure both of those two settings in your Messages app are toggled on. They should be on by default. However, 9 times out of 10, when somebody's having a problem with sending a message to somebody who's not using an iPhone, the problem is due to the fact that those two settings, SMS and MMS, are not turned on. So that's my Buzz Bite, short and sweet. And that should help you send text messages to anyone. So, anyone have any questions?
All right, Brad.
Yep.
Okay. All right. This is Sandhya. Brad, you want to explain the significance of green bubbles and blue bubbles for somebody who may not know?
Well, you assume I can tell the difference in green and blue.
Well,
I can't remember which is which, but when...
I think Apple is blue.
Is that it? Okay, so if you're looking at your iMessages, you have your messages open and you're on a conversation. Message and you do not have your colors altered. I always have color inverted because that white background is just too much for what little vision I have to handle. But if you just have normal colors, messages that are sent in iMessage, that is from one Apple device to another, the little bubble is a light blue color, and then there's black text in it. Messages that are sent as SMS or MMS are going to be in a green bubble. And you read a lot about this. Why does Apple do this? I guess it's to let you know people know whether they're using iMessage or regular text message. I know if you navigate a conversation with VoiceOver, you will hear little headings in messages that will say, your, iMessage or your iMessage or something like that. You'll hear them. And they're little headings and may even have a date at the beginning of a conversation. Sometimes, even though you're sending to another Apple device, it may go as a text message because for some reason, iMessages go through data, cellular data or Wi-Fi. And if it doesn't get a good data signal, it may default to SMS or MMS, and it will say sent as text message, which just means it went through the regular telephone cellular network as opposed to the cellular data network. I know that's all very technical and very confusing. And
I think you did. All right. And,
but anyway, iMessage is the Apple thing, and it's going to use data, which means either Wi or cellular data, as opposed to sent SMS or MMS over a regular telephone connection. Even though you're not in a phone call, it's still a cellular telephone
This
signal.
is Helene.
Go ahead, Helene. Rescue us,
I was
please.
wondering, I was wondering if on the other side, does the Android user have to go into their settings and do something that is sort of goes along with what I'm doing?
No, they don't, because Android devices and other devices that are not Android do not have the ability to use iMessage. That's an Apple only way of sending messages. So they're not going to get iMessage. So that's why you need to be able to have that enabled to send a message, SMS or MMS. Now, why might somebody turn them off? Most cellular plans nowadays are unlimited talk and text, unlimited phone calls, unlimited text messages. So it's not the issue that it used to be. And this switch has been in your iOS messages settings as long as there's been iPhones, as long as there's been iOS. And there were reasons why people who had a cellular plan once upon a time that didn't have unlimited text messaging might want to turn SMS or MSS off on their iPhone because they don't want to send more messages than their plan allows. So it's like a legacy thing that's just been around forever.
all right. Okay. Okay.
Michael?
Hang on.
This is
Yeah,
Debbie.
Michael.
Oh,
Well,
Yeah, I think with the iOS 18, that's going to go away.
it would not surprise me if it so what will there be the switch to turn it on or off, or the ability to send SMS will go away?
I'm not sure if they're just making the bubbles all one color or they're going to actually make it where you don't switch them and all that.
I know people get all upset about that bubble color for some reason. It's like, I always read these articles like the kids like it. It's like a status thing.
Right.
It means they're communicating with other iPhones. I don't know what difference it makes. But anyway, Pete. I heard Desi. Go ahead, Desi.
Yeah, I was just going to say that another thing about iMessaging is that whereas you oftentimes can't do this with some MMS and SMS messages, with an iMessage, you could write a whole book to somebody if you wanted. You can just keep writing and writing and writing.
That is correct. The SMS which stands for Short Messaging Service, originally was limited to 140 characters. I'm not sure if that's still the case.
I have more
because
recently, this is Desi again, sorry.
uh-huh.
I have more recently gotten some messages from people who must have really antiquated phone plans and stuff where they have several thoughts to express and it comes in several different short messages.
because at the end of 140 it breaks it
Yeah.
up, and
Oh.
so if you were sending your message to someone once upon a time, I'm not sure it still does this, and you're sending a message to someone, you dictate and you ramble on and it exceeds the 140 character limit, remember from yesterday's text message text editing, we mentioned that even a blank space or a period, that's a character. So everything is a character. If you exceed 140 characters, it's going to break it up into more than one message. So every 140 characters was its own message. And like Desi said, you don't have that issue with iMessage. There's no limit.
This is Pete.
Go ahead, Pete.
You said with MMS that you cannot send a movie, but you can send videos, right? You can send.
I don't think so. A movie is a video. And I don't believe
you
that
can
was
send one.
possible on No, with iMessage, I don't believe that's possible with MMS. Maybe I'm wrong, but I remember once upon a time I had a phone, and around 2000, and the big deal was this phone allowed for MMS, not just text messaging, but you could actually take a picture and send a picture, and that was using MMS.
Well, I have sent YouTube videos to my sons who both have Android phones.
That's probably because there's something in the Android that's above and beyond what we're calling MMS. There's something else there, because I don't see that breaking up of messages anymore. I think the Android phones have come, have gone past all that. So
yeah, well, mine don't break up, but I have sent videos.
This is David.
Yeah, well, that's probably because an Android isn't using good old-fashioned SMS and MMS anymore. Go ahead, David.
Well, I think this might be what Michael was referring to. There's a new standard that Android adopted years ago that has more capability, but Apple never played with it because they want to push their iMessage. But I think they have agreed to allow you to go. I can't remember the name of the standard. It's not MMS. It's something.
It's something
beyond
new.
that.
I've read about it too.
And I think they finally agreed, although
Pete's experiencing.
That might change because these things are always, like they're always in flux.
Well, Apple's under a lot of pressure, particularly from the European Union. They are picking on Apple because Apple's got this protocol, and those that don't have it, other services are complaining, and the regulators have decided that it's Apple's problem, and I don't agree with that, but I have no say in that.
This is Shri.
All right.
Go ahead, Shri.
It's RCS.
RCS. Thank you, Shri. That is it.
Very good.
What does that stand for? Do you remember?
I think it's like Rich Communication Services or something like that.
Yeah, that would sound about right. And
This is Kathy.
Go ahead, Kathy.
Is there a difference between sending a video and sending a link to the video?
Well, a link is a web link.
So,
And
but I
the
mean,
person-
when Pete was saying he sent a YouTube video to his son, but is it more like you're sending a link to it so they can use the link?
That could be what it is.
It is a
right.
link that I sent.
It's a link. So it's not like a video is actually being sent.
That
Like
you
an
could
attachment.
copy or play.
Yeah, it's not like an attachment to an email. But yes, that's a link. So yeah, and a link is really nothing more than text characters. But a text message can actually treat it like a live link, like you can in an email message, but plain text is going to treat it just like it's just ASCII characters. So,
Michael.
Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, one last thing on that RCS. That was what I couldn't think of it. But not only does it allow just regular text, video, photos, but I think it also has capability to do live chat between.
Yeah.
people with.
This is Sandhya.
Go ahead, Sandhya.
We actually covered this in, I think, one of our recent Apple news. So this is,
Yep.
In the works. So let's see if it happens. Like David said, you never know. But
I've read a number of articles about it.
Yeah, all
over
about
the
the
past few
green
months
and
the
blue
Apple
bubbles.
News stuff. Oh, I've been
All
reading
right.
about that for a long time. People got
Tiny
they're
bubbles.
all up in an uproar over green and blue bubbles.
All right, and now we are moving on. Thank you, Brad, for your
Thank you.
bite on bubbles. And now, moving away from bubbles, we'd like to give anybody a chance to ask a question who hasn't had a turn. Go ahead, say your name and wait to be recognized, please.
This is Calandra.
Yes, go ahead.
I've been wanting to ask a question, but
Okay, go ahead.
you said that it has videos. You could send a video through or a link or whatever. There's no way you could send an audio book even if it is a short message. Or what about music or something?
Are you talking about sending it as a text message, or what are you trying to do?
Something like that, yeah. Something tells me you might not be able to do that, or would you?
Yeah, on an iPhone. Are you using an iPhone?
No, not at this point, but I was just, curious because I know that on an iPhone you can use almost anything on that.
Right, on an iPhone. So this call is all about the iPhone. So all the things that we're talking about happen on the iPhone and iPad and Apple Watch, so forth. But you can basically send videos, links to videos, text messages, pictures. All that can be done. Audio, voice messages. All that can happen on an iPhone. Okay. All right. Great question. Thank you, Calandra.
Thank you.
All right. Next question. Who hasn't had a turn? We want to hear from somebody new that hasn't had a turn. Would like to go. Say your name.
Chico Donaco.
Okay, go ahead, Chico.
My question is about can you send a text? Can you send music within a text message, or you can only send
Okay.
You can only send short messages.
All right.
And
how do
you know which bubbles are bubbles? I mean,
okay.
which
hang
bubbles
on, hang
are
on.
red bubbles? Which bubbles are white bubbles?
Hold on. Okay, so the first question is, let's stick to the question is, can you send music? Let's stick to that. Okay. Anybody want to answer that question real quick? How do you send a message of music and text in a text
This is
message?
Debbie.
Go, Desi.
Yes, you definitely can send music in a number of different ways, but if you want to do it through your Messages app, you usually go to the song in music that you want to send, flick down to share, double tap on share, and then you can pick to send it by airdrop, airmail, email, messaging, a number of other things. You can share it with a number of other apps or whatever. And it's not hard to do.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Desi. Thank you, Chico. Moving on. Next question. Let's go.
This is Derek Houston.
Go ahead, Derek. Welcome. Go ahead.
So this question is for Brad. It's kind of the reverse question of what somebody just asked. If I sent a text which was over 140 characters, then and somebody had a phone that was not an iPhone, would it still get into their phone, or would it break up into two messages and get in?
This is Brad.
Brad?
If you've got the SMS thing turned on, it's going to send it as a regular text message. And if they're using their phone only receives SMS, then yes, it's going to break it up into individual messages with no more than 140 characters each. Now, I believe not RCS, but there's something in Android devices that run new versions of the Android. And I don't believe they may not be receiving iMessage, but I'm not sure how it works. I can only guess, and I'm not going to guess. But it doesn't seem to break them apart, or if it does break them apart, it's putting them back together before they're displayed on the screen. So,
Okay.
But iMessage is only between Apple devices.
No. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you, Derek. Okay, next question. All right, I will ask my question. How about dealing with registering for an event, and it required me to put in my credit card number, and then it said something like, okay, usually it has like autofill, and you already have your credit card number there, that's fine. But this one said customize, or then another one was other option. And I tried, and I didn't know what the difference was. Anybody come across customize in like when you're autofilling something? Maybe not. It's kind of weird. Okay.
This is Patrick.
Go, Patrick.
I have done that. I'm not sure of the difference, but it turned off. I just did it the other day, and it turned off the autofill, and it let me do it manually without any interruption. Now I'm not sure if that was the main purpose for customize, but that's what happened with me.
Okay, and this is a follow-up to that. I've been seeing something that says move up or move down. Have y'all been seeing that? So I guess it's like moving through your different options of like different.
That's correct. This is Patrick. That's correct. That's a new thing. Move up, move down. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Always something. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Patrick. Okay.
This is Jake.
Go, Jake.
Yeah, I've filled out some things, and mine was with email. And one of the things that I try to do is I have two emails, and one option is hide email, and the other one is my Outlook. Well, I don't want that one, so I have to go all the way back to the toolbar. And when I go back to the toolbar, it'll say, I think it says add from contact or something like that, and I have to do it that way. Whereas before it was there, my other email was there, and now it's not.
Okay.
And so they have been changing it.
Okay, just when you thought it was safe to use autofill.
It's still good. I like autofill.
It's still cool.
It's just
when
different.
it works. I think it's user error on my part. So yeah, okay. All right, thank you guys. Okay, next. Who else? New question, new problem.
This is Pete.
Go, Pete.
Just a quick heads up, iOS 17.5 is released and available today.
Yep, thank you. Kind of went over that earlier, but thank you.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. All right. Who else would like to go? New point, new question. Who would like to
This is Jody.
go, Jody?
Yes, the National Library Service has a monthly Zoom call for BARD, which is great. You can go to their website and sign up for their email list, and they record the sessions so they're archived. And last week they had one on the new Siri shortcuts that are in the BARD app, which is really great. They talked about it. But then they had a question and answer period, and I brought up my question that I mentioned last week, where if I'm listening to BARD, sometimes I will miss notifications for text messages, although that won't happen in other apps. And I've changed notifications so that they should come through in a variety of different places. So I mentioned that problem, and they acknowledged the fact that, yes, they had the same problem on their phones too, and they thought that it was an iOS problem and not a BARD problem. So they're aware of it at the National Library Service, but I don't know if it will get fixed.
Good job, Jody. All right. All right, next. Who else? New question, new problem.
This is Helen.
Go, Helene.
I got something in my email about the Department of Transportation is looking for feedback about dogs and service dogs, guide dogs coming on planes, and the forms that people are asked to fill out. If you don't have a guide dog, would it be legal to just send the thing and just say it's outrageous that that they haven't simplified this, or do you not even have a chance to do it because you don't have a guide dog? I just want to support the people who feel that they've been having to go through this.
Okay, so the question is the form
Is it
accessible or not?
No, I don't even know. I haven't gone to it because I don't have a guide dog, but I'd like to know, even though I don't have a guide dog, because I did the leader dog when I went there for my O&M, is it okay to weigh in on that the form is excessive and should be, it shouldn't be done for people with guide dogs.
Okay, it's kind of more of a philosophical discussion, probably.
It's not even moral. It's just the fact that I'm wondering, because I'm blind, I just think that it's wrong to do that.
This is
Right.
Pete.
Okay, go ahead, Pete.
I would do it if you got if you were reached out, if they reached out to you for input. I would give them their input, whether you're technically a guide dog owner or not.
Okay.
If that's what you're asking.
Yes, well, they're asking to go onto the link for the Department of Transportation to fill out the questionnaires about what people.
They're asking you to do that, and
they're
you're
asking
wondering
anyone who graduated from the guide dog.
Yeah, do it. What are they going to do? Come after you?
All right. Yes, go ahead, Tween, try it out. But we'll just move on. That's more of a philosophical whether you should do it or not. It's really not a technical question, but okay. All right, who else? Next question.
Brad?
Go, Brad.
I looked up what is in iOS 17.5.
Oh my goodness.
And the two things that are in it. The number one thing doesn't apply to us here in the United States. It has to do with allowing the compliance with the European Union, what they call DMA, Digital Marketplace App. It's something they're requiring in Europe to allow for alternative marketplaces besides the iOS App Store. So obviously that doesn't affect us here in the United States at all. The other thing it said that is the other big thing in there is when you take your iPhone in for a repair, you are asked to turn off Find My. Now there is a mode in Find My called repair mode. So you do not have to turn Find My off. You enable repair mode, which allows the repair people to work on it, yet you can still keep track of your iPhone's location on Find My. Now, that's just what I think it means. I haven't read extensively about it, but those were the two things that it said were in there. Obviously, as with all updates, there's probably some bug fixes and some other things. Hopefully, it won't repeat what I dictate when I, do dictate into the search bar of Safari or search in the music app or something like that. So anyway, Sheree mentioned something about Wi-Fi, and that probably could be in there too. It wasn't in the article that I looked at. So, like we said, Apple always fixes something and introduces another bug. So proceed at your own risk.
Right, and more fodder for future calls. That's what it's
Exactly.
all about. All right, keep them coming back. Okay, who else? Who's next? New question.
This is Alice.
Go ahead, Miss Alice.
I use Aira Explorer, and when I try to open it up, it says AI is coming soon, and I can't get beyond that because I don't want to join the wait list. It just tells me tap there to join the wait list, or I just want to remove that message so I can get back to using Aira.
This is Helene.
Go ahead.
I got the answer for you, Alice. It is that you have to go into the bottom left corner and press home. And as soon as you do home, it says, get your free 5-minute call. and then you can do everything you used to be able to do.
Thank you.
All right, way to go, Helene. Good job. Okay, who else? Who else? Who else? New question. Okay, even if you have asked a question, you can ask another. Anybody?
This is John.
Go ahead, John.
I'd like a clarification on this from someone, maybe Brad, because it sort of relates to what we started off with. And that is when I'm wearing my earphones and I want to use Siri, it seems to me that I actually have to speak into the mic that is on the iPhone, and I cannot activate Siri by using the headphones. Am I right?
All right, anybody want to touch that one? So basically, are you using AirPods or what are you using again?
I'm using some off-brand headphones.
Okay,
This is Jody.
Okay, go ahead, Jody.
Yes, John. It depends on the brand of your earbuds. I have several pair, and one of them, if I tap the button on the side of the earbud 3 times, it will bring up Siri. And that seems to be a standard. If that feature is available, you press the button 3 times to bring up Siri. I also have a set of earbuds where the Siri feature is not available, which I didn't know when I bought them. I wouldn't have bought them. So it all depends on the brand of earbuds. But if that feature is available, just try pressing the button 3 times and see if Siri works.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you. All right, who else? I have been cleaning out my drawers, tech drawer in particular, and it's a nightmare. And Shree had recommended using Velcro to tie up all your literal loose ends. So the question is, what is the correct way to bind all those cords? Do you make the loop and then loop it through the inside of the loop, or like kind of crush it all together and then wrap it around the middle from the outside? Does that make sense? There's 2 ways.
This is Patrick.
Go, Patrick.
Yeah, you got it. You just you gather all your wires together, whatever you have, and just straighten it out as best you can, and then start banding it. Wrapping that Velcro strap around it, and every I don't know how long these wires are, but every 6 inches or a foot, depending on the length of the wires, how it's fastened, or how you want it to be fastened. But you can tell just by touch, like how much it really needs it. If it's 6 feet of wire and there's 4 wires, and every foot and a half would keep them gathered nice and neat.
Okay, hold on. I'm not even there. I'm talking about just for storage purposes, putting them in my drawer. Should they, just wrap them up as a coil or wrap them up?
Oh, exactly, sure. And then put Velcro around it. Yeah.
I don't know. When I put them as a coil, they all kind of start unraveling anyway. But anyway,
make the coil tight though. Just tighten it up.
Problem.
This is Pete.
Go, Pete.
There are 2 schools of thought on this, Sandhya.
Okay.
There is the coil school of thought, in which case you coil them and you wrap it around one side of the coil, where the ends pretty much come to as close together as possible. The other school of thought is called the clump school of thought. And that's when you wind them all up, ball them up, and then get out the duct tape.
That's it, duct tape.
I don't think it matters, to be honest with you.
I like these schools of thought. I finally understand. Okay, thank you, Pete. Brad, go ahead.
2 words. Bread twisty.
Bread twisty.
That's it. Yeah.
This is Shree.
Save those little twisties off the Mrs. Beard's bread bag.
I've got hundreds of Velcro straps.
I would stick with
that'll work too, but
Hold on, we got Shree to
the
answer
whole
for
thing.
this.
Shree's got another school of thought.
Go, Shree.
I do, because you can get them on Amazon. These are like magnet, kind of a a track to roll your wires in, and because they have magnets inside, you can clip the edges of the tips, and you'll be nicely, cleanly stacked in your whatever drawer you want to call it.
What are they called, and how much are they?
Yeah.
They're not that expensive. They're basically this little circle thing that you just wind the wire together, and the middle of it has magnets, so you just kind of.
That's a good idea.
That sounds. You need to send that link out somewhere.
Yes.
But that sounds really
Do
cool.
that.
And I'll have to. Go ahead.
This
Heard
is
somebody?
Marty.
Go, Marty.
I actually got them from Amazon. They're called magnetic zip ties, and I think they're like 12 for $10 or something.
Okay. All right. And newsflash, my mom, the ever helpful one, washed my coat after a recent trip, and not only were my leather gloves in there, also my Velcro straps the roll of Velcro. And if you were wondering, does Velcro work after being washed? And yes, it does.
Of course.
Too bad I can't say much about the gloves.
Indestructible, yeah.
This is Terry.
Go, Terry Ann. I love my mom.
Oh, bless her heart. Oh, I use those Velcro or hook and loop straps. I think you're supposed to say officially. And I like them.
Okay.
I've used them for years, and I like them. I've also used. I don't know if they're exactly the same magnetic things that you were referring to, whoever said that, the magnetic zip ties. But I use, they're small, but they work really well too. I've got a whole drawer full of stuff. I've used the bread, zip, the bread tie things. Yeah, I don't like those because either they're too short or they're really long, but the paper wears off after a while unless you get plastic ones, but even those wear out too.
All right. Okay. Twisty ties, Velcro, magnetic zip ties. We're all ready to go. All right. Okay, because those are important because we all have way too many wires. Even though we're trying to go wireless, we have way too many wires. All right.
Hey, this is Dee.
Go, Dee.
With a new question.
All right. Okay? Good. Go ahead.
Okay. Has anybody ever had to send their watch in for repair? If so, about how long does it take to get it back?
Ooh, that was a two-part question. Anybody ready for Dee's two-part question?
This is Brad.
Go, Brad.
I one time let my watch go through the washer and dryer.
Okay, that was not the question, but okay, go ahead.
And I had to
How long
take
did
it
it
in
take to
to
get back?
repair.
Oh, it leads to segue. Oh, wow. Go ahead.
Well, it was between yours and the other. Plus, it sounded like rocks in the dryer, and it made the back come off the watch. Anyhow, it was about 10 days, and they sent a new. Actually, they ended up sending me a refurbished one rather than replacing it.
Okay.
I had to go to the Apple store and pick it up, and
okay, D.
About 10 days.
Yes. My new question is, do they normally send you a refurbished watch, or do they usually fix yours and send it back to you? I broke the glass on mine.
Broke the glass.
Do you have Apple Care?
I do.
They'll probably just, I don't know. They'll probably do like they did to me. I had Apple Care. I mean, you would have thought they'd just glue the back on, but no, they replaced it. And I mean, it still worked. It took a licking and kept on ticking, but it didn't have the back on it. And I figured I'd bring it in and, they'd glue the back on it. But no, they took it and they ended up sending me a shiny refurbished one. So, that's probably what they'll do.
This is
Pete. Right.
Next question.
Hang on. Whoa. Okay, let's go to Shri. You gotta hold on. Okay, go Shri.
So D, was it your glass that popped off?
No, it didn't pop off. I just cracked it.
I see.
It's still usable.
I didn't think that they replaced glass on the watches anymore. They just kind of swap it.
This is Terry.
Go, Terry.
When a few months back, when the watch update caused a lot of batteries to go south, and Apple finally realized that it was on them, but it didn't matter. Before that time, Carla sent her watch in to be repaired or to have the battery replaced, because that's what they said the problem was. And it took her about a week to get hers back, and it was a shiny new refurbished. She doesn't know if it was an original, but it was an actual watch Series 5, and this just happened a few months ago. So, and it's working beautifully, and she's not had any problems with it. So I think they don't bother repairing them. In most cases, they will send you either a brand new one or a refurbished one, and you get it pretty in short order. And I think you can request a box if you don't have proper put it in. You can get packing materials from them or from a store that sells Apple product and
This is
send it
Pete.
that way.
All right, go, Pete.
Just to tie this back to the iOS 17.5 fixes and provisions that Brad mentioned, this is another scenario that I read is also a good time when you can keep your Find My turned on, even if you have to mail it back to Apple for repair. So the Find My will have that, what was it, repair mode setting, Brad? Not just if you take it in to be repaired, but also if you mail it, ship it back to Apple, you should turn your Find My on, and that way you can track it when you send it back.
And
okay,
when you said tie it back up, did you use magnetic ties or Velcro?
It was a twisty tie.
Oh.
That kind of thing is easy to tie.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well,
this is Ed.
Go, Ed. You got 1 minute. Go.
Yeah, just wanted to know how the waterlog feature works on the watch.
All right, real quick. Anybody with this, waterlog, how to use it?
Well, I know how to use it. Just how good does it work?
This is
Marty.
Go, Marty.
It kind of like squishes the water out of the speaker area.
Okay.
And you have to use your crown. I think you have to turn it forward to turn it off, because otherwise it just stays on. I don't know, whatever shuts off.
Okay, and then
maybe Sri has a better answer.
No, that's good. Go ahead, Sri.
I think it uses they use sound to push the air out.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, with that, we are ready to go swimming with our Apple Watches. I know people
with the cable tied on. With
yes.
with the Velcro, and the
Velcro.
with the Velcro, the cable tie, and the twisty.
Mrs. Baird twisty ties.
All right,
That's
so
right.
people don't go away. We're gonna have After Buzz in just a minute, but real quick, Brad, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure, always.
You're so awesome. Well, okay.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
It's gonna go to his head.
Just being nice. But okay, quickly recap. We
Really?
have stuff every day this week. Let's go. Tomorrow, mini buzz from 5 to 6. Continuation of what we're doing here today. From Wednesday, from 7 to 8:30, we have Android Insight, all things related to your Android or your Android devices. Then we have iBUG Trekkie Talk on Thursday from 8 to 9:30. Then the movie iBUG Not at the Virtual Movies is on Friday, 8 o'clock. We're going to be watching that brand new hit, Grapes of Wrath, based on the book by John Steinbeck. So definitely you have time to read the book, hopefully before the movie, but that is not a prerequisite. Then we are off for the weekend, and then we'll start all over next week, and we're getting closer to our 13th anniversary, so if you haven't or would like to play again, definitely consider making a donation to iBUG, and $10 for one ticket or $50 for 6, and you could win $500 on May 25th. And thank you guys for all of your support, and thank you for calling in and being a part of our call, and we appreciate your support and your questions, even though I may yell at you sometimes. but we do like
sometimes.
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 Cut you
Yeah.
off at the
Oh,
knee.
sorry. Sometimes wasn't supposed to be there. I'll take that out.
Oh. And May yell at
Too
you.
late now.
May.
All right, we're gonna take this call off the record now.
Good night, John.
We'll have
love you
about
and